In Pit Lane, brought to you by Online Invent, websites, digital marketing and custom software. And with thanks to these great community supporters.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane, coming to you right across Melbourne on Channel 31. Channel 31 celebrating 3 decades on air this weekend, and we've been a part of it for a long time. You know, in the almost 3 decades that we've been on air, we have never had a harpist on the program. Tonight, all that changes. What we have had over the years, of course, are racing drivers, and we've got 2 of them who will be in action this weekend down at the fabulous Phillip Island circuit for the latest round of the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship. We have the current leader of the Victorian Sports Sedan Championship. He is Travis Condon, and also alongside him from the Porsche 944 Challenge, we have Mark Taubitz. But right now, look, I'm flying sort of solo tonight because Doc is on secret assignment somewhere very far away doing very secret things. So it's up to me to just sit there by myself and say, here is In Pit Lane Motorsport News. Well, with less than 2 weeks to go until the cars hit the mountain at Bathurst, there's still a sense of uncertainty regarding the reliability of the Ford competitors. New GT3 spec crankshafts have been tested at Queensland Raceway after a series of failures of the original units at Sandown. The test apparently went well, but the question is now, will there be enough time to get the units to Australia before the big race? The Grove Racing Mustang of Richie Stanaway retired from the Sandown 500 due to the failure of the part, and then other Mustangs had similar problems the day after at the Sponsors Ride Day. Well, Melbourne certainly showed off the best and worst of its weather extremes last weekend, while the battle between Fitzroy and South Melbourne, I refuse to call them anything else, played out under sunny skies at the MCG. Competitors across town at Calder Park had a wet, cold and windy Sunday to contend with.
In the Australian Drivers' Championship, Damon Sterling strengthened his lead in the series, coming out on top after 3 race wins over the weekend. New South Wales driver Hayden Crossland won the weekend's final race to keep himself in contention as the series heads to its final round at the revamped Wakefield Park Raceway at the end of the month. The stock cars returned to their spiritual home, with Scott Nind in his Xfinity Series Mustang winning 2 of the 3 races to take the weekend overall from the Chev Monte Carlo of Richard White, who won race 3. The stock cars shared the track with competitors from the Super TT class, which saw a good-sized field and plenty of variety on track and quite a few unlikely pictures. Nathan LeBrock in a Commodore won all 4 of the Super TT events from the Pulsar of Declan Kirkham.
Well, a big blow to the local TCR series was news that Honda Australia will withdraw from the series at the end of this year. The company have been involved from the very beginning with Tony D'Alberto and Wall Racing. In a statement, the company said that our involvement in the Australian TCR series has played a crucial role in cementing Honda's rich history in motorsport at a local level. We're proud of what we've achieved together and look forward to exploring new avenues and collaborations in future. A cloud hangs over the series' future following the death of the Speed series, which will be replaced next year by a new SRO promoter series, which will focus almost exclusively on GT racing. Well, Jorge Martin ended his 9-race winless streak with a victory at the Indonesian MotoGP, extending his lead in the MotoGP Championship. Martin dominated the race at the Mandalika circuit, leading from start to finish and finishing 1.4 seconds ahead of Pedro Acosta. Francesco Bagnaia, the reigning world champion, came in 3rd after recovering from a poor start. Martin's win increases his championship lead now to 21 points over Bagnaia. In a challenging race, only 12 of the 21 starters finished. Well, Shane van Gisbergen's recovered from a poor race start to finish 8th in the first race of the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. After struggling early with handling problems, a major tyre pressure adjustment transformed the car, allowing the Kiwi driver to storm through the pack to keep his playoff championship hopes alive. In the main game, it was a driver outside the playoff race that took the honours at Kansas.
Ross Chastain spoiled the party for the NASCAR Cup Series playoff field on Sunday at Kansas Speedway, holding off William Byron to win the Hollywood Casino 400, his fifth NASCAR Cup Series victory. The race got off to an eventful start with a multi-car crash involving Josh Berry, Chase Elliott, Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton and Jimmy Johnson. Stage 1 winner William Byron now leads the playoffs ahead of Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell. Mirko Bortolotti has taken the championship lead in the DTM with his first victory of the season during Saturday's race at the Red Bull Ring. Starting from fourth, Bortolotti chose to use wet tyres in the late rain, allowing him to pass competitors and take the lead by lap 7. He extended his lead to some 8 seconds before switching back to slick tyres and maintained control despite pressure from Maro Engel, going on to win by just over a second. On Sunday, Bortolotti secured pole position for race 2, but lost the lead to Rene Rast after a strategic pit stop. Rast's BMW M4 took the victory, with Thomas Preining finishing second. Bortolotti crossed the line in fourth, increasing his points lead over Kelvin van der Linde with 2 races remaining. In NHRA drag racing, Jack Beckman, subbing for the injured John Force, took out his first funny car win since 2020, defeating Ron Capps in the final of the NHRA Midwest Nationals at St. Louis. In Top Fuel, Tony Schumacher won for the second time this season to defeat Steve Torrens in the championship round. Remarkably, it was Schumacher's first victory in the countdown to the championship since 2014. The Pro Stock final featured another thrilling duel between Dallas Glenn and Aaron Stanfield, Glenn getting the better of Stanfield for the second straight race. After failing to win in the first 2 Pro Stock motorcycle playoff races, defending world champion Gage Herrera got back on track, moving back into the points lead, taking his 8th victory of the season with a win over Chase Van Sant. And for the second straight race, a first-time winner in Pro Mod, as Stan Shelton defeated Mason Wright in the final round. And remember, if you'd like to catch up and discuss the latest news in the world of motor racing, then join us every Thursday night at 8:30 live for Full Course Yellow. It's a general motorsport chat session where you're invited to submit your questions, make your comments, have your say. We're live at 8:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time every Thursday night on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel and Facebook page.
And we end the news on a sad note tonight with the passing of local sports car and production car legend Peter Fitzgerald. A winner of the Bathurst 12 Hours, the Targa Tasmania, the Porsche Cup and 2 Australian production car championships, Fitzgerald was widely known as one of the top preparers of Porsches in Australia. A clear indication of the high regard in which he was held as a driver was the decision by the Porsche Museum to allow Peter to drive one of their rare Porsche GT1 cars at Phillip Island some years back. Peter passed away on the weekend after a long battle with cancer. All of us here at In Pit Lane pass on their condolences to the family and many friends of Peter Fitzgerald. You're watching In Pit Lane. When we come back, we're going to preview the weekend's action down at Phillip Island in the Victorian State Championship with our special guests, Travis Condon and Mark Taubitz. And also, we've got some live music from our special guest, Lady Shaula. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Get the phone ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Yes, and a huge thank you once again to In Pit Lane program sponsors Online Invent, who allow us to stay on air here and on Channel 31. Online Invent is a reliable and experienced online marketing agency dedicated to helping businesses thrive in a complex digital landscape. They specialise in high-end search engine optimisation, custom web design and social media marketing and management services that empower you to compete effectively in today's crowded online market. Online Invent understands that effective online advertising is about connecting with the right audience and capturing their attention with creative and innovative ideas. They take great pride in delivering memorable, unique and affordable online marketing solutions. So break through the barriers and establish your brand as a trusted leader online. Contact Online Invent at www.onlineinvent.com.au. And we thank Online Invent once again for your invaluable support of In Pit Lane, community television and local motorsport. Well, our musical act tonight is Lady Shaula, and you can find her music on iTunes, on Spotify and Apple Music, on Instagram and all of her socials, and you can also watch out for her on her own upcoming show here on Channel 31 called At Home with Lady Shaula. She'll also be touring Europe and Japan next year, so for all of you watching over there, get ready. But right now we're going to hear from her. Right now she's also going to play us out at the end of the night. But right now, this is Lady Shaula with Melting of Gold.
I am a creature of extremes. My grand ideas and my dreams don't fit into the ideal world of averages and means. I walk apart from the crowd. I always walk where it says I'm not allowed. The legacy of a past of which I can't be proud. A tyrant master to whom I've never bowed, and I can only be me. And I'm becoming more and more of who I really am. And of your rules and regulations, I don't give a damn. And if it scares you that my soul is breaking free, know that the fire of truth melted my padlock and my key. 6 minutes at 1,640 degrees. I've melted gold and now there's no flame that can burn. I fought a dragon for 5 years till I brought him down. I marked an X upon his stomach to claim my space. My brand of humor that keeps me on the ground in this space. I was a master of disguise. The girl you thought you knew has gone. She wasn't very real when it mattered. After all, a mask I wore a quarter century. So you'd like me 6 minutes at 1,640 degrees. I've walked through hell and now there's no flame that can burn. I fought a dragon for 5 years till I brought him down. I marked an X upon his stomach to claim my space. My brand of humor that keeps me on the ground in this space. And I can only be me. And I'm becoming more and more of who I really am. And of your rules and regulations, I don't give a damn. And if it scares you that my soul is breaking free, know that the fire of truth melted my padlock and key.
And she will be joining us a little bit later on. Now, your Channel 31 program, Shaula, when will that be coming on? Do we know?
Oh, it's pre-production, Brad. I'm not quite sure, but it's great to be here tonight on In Pit Lane.
It's coming soon, so be ready to watch that. And we'll have more news on Channel 31. A big weekend for Channel 31. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the program as 31 celebrates 30 years on the air. That's coming up very, very soon as well. And we must have also, I mean, Shaula's not there by herself. There's a man sitting there hitting things.
This is my gorgeous dad. Isn't he fantastic?
Is he? Does your gorgeous dad have a name?
Yes, my name is Daniel, And
Daniel.
Daniel,
yes.
that's it.
Daniel Dad.
We've been playing together for quite a long time. This is lovely.
I can imagine.
Absolutely.
I can imagine. Well, we're going to, as we said, we're going to hear some more from Shaula and then a little bit later on. But right now, we're going to take a very quick break on In Pit Lane, and when we come back, we're going to preview this weekend's big meeting down at Phillip Island with our special guests Travis Condon and Mark Taubitz. Don't go away. We'll be back. It'll take us that long. Trust me. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to In Pit Lane. We're coming up this weekend down at Phillip Island. It's round 5 of the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championships. And joining us tonight on the program, 2 competitors who'll be in action this weekend. One of them is currently leading the Victorian Sports Sedan Championship in his bright green V8 powered Corolla that we covered, in fact, last year on the program. Also alongside him is from the sort of the world of one-make racing, a category that is unique to the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship, the very popular Porsche 944 Challenge Series. Please welcome to the program Mark Taubitz and Travis Condon. Guys, welcome to In Pit Lane.
Yeah, thanks for having us again, Brett.
Likewise, thanks, Brett.
Now let's, Mark, let's start with you because I was thinking today, you know, the Porsche 944 Challenge. I mean, we were involved like very much at the start of it, covering the races for many, many years, and it's still going strong. It's so the original thing was that cars were, even though they were Porsches, they were very affordable. But now these things by themselves are becoming collector's items in their own right. Is it becoming harder to get, you know, more cars out there?
Yeah, it's probably challenging now that the road cars are worth a lot more, I guess, than the race cars are. So finding parts is getting a bit of a challenge. We have to get them sort of from overseas in the case of things. But we also manufacture a number of all the bodywork. The front end of the car is all fiberglass, and we actually manufacture that now in-house. So yeah, very easy for us to be able to replace front clips of cars and bonnets and bumpers and things like that as they get damaged in battle, I guess you could say, on track. Yeah.
So how many cars have you got entered for this weekend down at Phillip Island?
We did have 17. We've had a late withdrawal, so we're down to 16, which has been sort of where we've been this year. But we've got a number. I think we've got probably be 25 guys who have raced this year. It's just a matter of getting everyone to all come on track at the same time. So no, we're looking forward to our first race at Phillip Island this weekend for the year.
Travis, sports sedans, I mean, another category, Mark mentioned the numbers. There was once a time when we'd have 20, 25, 30, almost 30 cars on the grid years ago, but things are obviously pretty tough at the moment. What are your fields looking like?
Oh, look, it's definitely tougher out there at the moment. We all know the economic stature is a bit tight. But we've sort of got around the 15 to 17 cars. We've joined the group together with Vic V8s, and so we've actually got 27 that are going to be on field, which is going to be absolutely amazing racing. 27 cars for us all to be battling in. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait.
We did, of course, as I said, we did a story from your workshop on the car last year, but it's one of those cars, I mean, sports sedans, I said this afternoon in the sort of preview, sports sedans are an ongoing story. I mean, it's like editing. There's a saying in television editing which basically says that, editing never finishes, you just run out of time and money. It seems to be the same with sports sedans, isn't it?
100% it is. Yeah, you come up with new ideas and start implementing them and realise it was stupid sometimes, and then move forward, but definitely taking out of what you can and have chosen to perform so much better. You find that little bit of I employed a gentleman, Jared McLeod, and he helped me with the engineering side of it, and it just changed the car of Maverick performance. He did absolutely amazing, and it's really settled the car down and gives me so much more confidence. And it's just those little things that get you going faster and faster.
Because the thing about your car is, and we mentioned it at the time, I mean, in the world of sports sedans, you've got cars that are very, very high tech now. Things like the Mark cars that are sort of like the same level as sort of top level supercars and GT3 cars. You've got space frame design cars. You've got Trans Am sort of style cars. But your car is there's still a lot of Corolla in it.
There is. I like to work with the KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. That suits me. And I find the less things that are on the car, one, it's lighter, but two, it can't break down. And reliability, I think, is what's helping me win, and get through with the championship at the moment.
Has that been the thing? I mean, that you've got a car there that a lot of these cars, they're fast but fragile?
Yeah, look, we definitely know that about sports sedans. They can be very temperamental. With the technology these days, like you look at what's happening in the National Series with the Ingrams and the Rotaries, they've really changed the way you look at a rotary now, because they are definitely winning races and having that reliability. Technology's come a long way. It's just
we did a story on that a few weeks ago, which people would have seen here on In Pit Lane, and I mean, it's a rocket ship, it's a spaceship, isn't it?
Oh, it is absolutely a work of art, is what it is. Yeah, I'm very jealous. But when you look at these things as well, you pick up little ideas and go, oh, that's something I could implement on my car, and again, back to the evolution of the sports sedan, could just keep on going.
Mark, with a category like the original idea behind the 944s was to keep it affordable, was to basically keep the level of modifications under control. I mean, is that still the format? Has there been many changes since over the past 4 or 5 years?
We've actually done a lot to try and curtail the development, I guess, to try and keep a focus on the driver being able to come to the forefront. So we've got a control suspension package, we've got control brake pads, control tyres, control ECU. So a lot of things that are the same from the cars at the front of the pack to the back of the pack, and usually the biggest differentiator in that is the human matter sitting in the wheel and behind the wheel. Pretty much any of the top line drivers will get behind the wheel of any car and be able to put it still at the front of the field.
Of course, we mentioned Melbourne's weather during the report from the VMRC at Calder over the weekend. The forecast for Phillip Island is looking a bit iffy. I mean, does it matter that much to you guys? I mean, in terms of the rain?
It does. We don't have a wet weather tyre like some of the other categories do. So we've got a Yokohama AO50, which is a fantastic all-weather tyre. yeah, we have to make do with that, regardless whether it's rain, hail, or shine. So, but yeah, we'll make sure everyone's got some U-Butte Trico wiper blades if the rain does come in, so that we can make sure we can all see exactly where we're going.
Travis, for your car, I mean, I suppose with some of the high-tech cars that are also in your category, you wouldn't be too upset, I take it, if there was a little bit of rain around?
Look, I've been doing a rain dance since last weekend, to be honest.
Oh, it's your fault.
Yeah, you look at Dean Cam and he's got amazing horsepower, and in the dry, it's something I can't catch. So the rain's a real equaliser with the big horsepower cars, and yeah, it works to my advantage. So we've got an open tyre in our category, so we can choose what we want. And again, that really helps. I'm really hoping that it rains this weekend to keep some good points going on.
Well, if it's going to rain anywhere, it's probably going to rain down at Phillip Island and be windy and hail, and you'll probably get hit by lightning too. Yes, I'd like to remind you, I have been hit by lightning at Phillip Island. So it does happen. But anyway, look, we'll find out a bit more about what's happening this weekend in general when we come back from the break, but stay with us, and we're going to take a break right now on In Pit Lane. When we come back, we're going to be joined by our guest once again, and for some music to take us out, Lady Shaula as well. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
For your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Yes, and we're just going to get Lady Shaula and everyone into position. Now, we mentioned that Lady Shaula has a program coming up on Channel 31. Well, this week, Channel 31 celebrates 30 years on air. It's been quite a battle to stay that way, and In Pit Lane has been a part of most of that history. The fact is, we can't do it without your help. Despite what some people say, In Pit Lane receives no government funding, is limited in the amount of sponsorship that we can offer, and receives no direct financial assistance from either RMITV or RMIT University. That's why, if the show's to continue into the future, we really need your support. One way you can show your support is by becoming one of our Patreon Pit Crew supporters. From as little as $1 per week, that's right, $1 measly, you can show your support for Australia's only primetime free-to-air motorsport show. And if you're a business or a car club, we've got a $25 a month membership that will see your logo featured on the show opening every week, so you can show the rest of Melbourne and the rest of Australia your support for In Pit Lane. So look, if you think that local motorsport media is something worth supporting, head to www.patreon.com/The Pit Crew and show your support for In Pit Lane. There you go. Support genuine. I don't know how genuine the human content is. It's human content. How genuine it is, I can't give you a sort of can't give you any sort of proof of that. But we're here and we're doing this, and we're trying to stay on the air as long as possible. It has become, as I said before, it has become increasingly difficult over the last couple of years to keep up. Obviously, the media landscape has changed an enormous amount, and it is very difficult for to get support. And in terms of, as we said before, compared with other sports shows here on Channel 31, it's fair to say we don't get a lot of support from our local sports. So yeah, if you could help us out, we'd really appreciate it. Now, I think we're just about ready. Soon we're just getting Lady Shaula into position. She's going to play us out. She's going to play us out tonight. I think there's Jacob's going to do some work. Are you bit of just popping in to do a bit of fine tuning on the high tech, on the vocals and the microphones?
We've got 5 minutes and 10 seconds talking time before the song for this segment.
5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, that's good. Okay, we got 5 minutes. This is good. Okay, so whenever they're ready, when this is ready, we'll pop back into what we're doing. To In Pit Lane here on Channel 31, right across Melbourne. Now, as we said, coming up a little bit later, Lady Shaula is going to join us. as I said, we've never had a harpist on the program before. Well, one's going to take us out tonight on the program. But right now, so we're playing a different sort of music this weekend down at Phillip Island for the Victorian State Championships is Travis Condon and Mark Taubitz. And guys, let's talk about the state series in general. I mean, we talked about the struggles of getting large fields these days. Well, I mean, how difficult is it becoming now to keep up at this level in terms of I remember like we used to go, there used to be 300 cars entered at times, and those days seem to be long gone. So, what do we do to get these cars back?
I think it's a bit of a challenge, obviously, just with the economy. But you've got, we've still got probably 170 cars that are entered this weekend. So that's still quite healthy, especially when you look at some of the other states where they might struggle to get, I guess, triple figures with their entrants across a weekend. So 170 is still a great result, and it's due in no small part to the efforts of the Victorian.
So the categories we got this week, we got lots of categories on board. You got Formula V, Formula Ford, sports sedans, of course, with the Vic V8s. You got you guys with the 944s. What else have we got running there?
We've got historic touring cars, we've got MGs, the saloon cars, and Hyundai XLs. So as well as a guest appearance from the Australian Prototype Series.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten all about that. Yeah, if you want good photos, if you want especially if the weather's good, or even if it's not good, those cars in the wet, because you see the aero at work, and they are fabulous cars.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of fun to fang around Phillip Island in the wet. I imagine they'd be a bit scary.
Bit of Le Mans vibe from them. Cut price Le Mans cars. They look fantastic. Great category.
And look, even going back to the last round when it was at Sandown, our sports sedans weren't there, but we had 230 cars entered. So that was still an amazing weekend as far as numbers go.
That's it. It's interesting you say that because we mentioned during the news before about the situation with the Speed Series finishing, and we now have a lot of categories that were sort of national categories that basically have nowhere to go anymore. And it seems to be reading between the lines. There may well be a push to get some more of these national categories in selected state championships as well. For you guys, I mean, it worked out fabulous at Sandown, but is this going to be a problem if they say, well, no, you guys can't race because we've got a national Formula Ford round or a sports sedan round or something, or TCR or even something like that?
Oh, look, I think it worked really well for us, because we put on the show, being sports sedans, and it was good for us to be able to give back as well and help out. It'll definitely create, maybe other categories need to join forces like we are with Vic V8s, so you can get more numbers into the race. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of out of my pay grade of where things are going to go.
That does seem to be the problem. I mean, Mark, with the 944s, for instance, I mean, they're a unique car in and of themselves, but I mean, if you were sort of, they have run them in the past with sort of almost like a separate grid for BMWs and a few other things. I mean, can you see that being part of the future? Is that in order to get everybody on the track who wants to race, you're just simply going to, whether you like it or not, we are going to have to, mix up some categories?
I think that's one option, obviously, to do something like that. We've always been an advocate to keep our races amongst ourselves, and when we have sort of had a shared grid, it's generally been races with those categories sort of separated with a split grid and a delayed start for the second category, for example. But yeah, it all comes down to numbers. If we can still keep turning 20 plus cars up, then that's enough to have our own grid. And that's the same for pretty much all the categories there. 20 is sort of like, it seems to be a good number, and most categories aren't far away from that, generally speaking. It's with the help of some good sponsorship and things like that, and exposure such as being able to come on here and give a bit of a plug and get some exposure for the series. Hopefully get some people coming in to watch at the gate as well.
So if people do want to come down on the weekend and see some actual racing, real world racing at one of the great racetracks of the world, let's face it, what are the details?
Look, that's what we want to see. We want to see people come to the track. There was nothing better than the old days. You go to the track and the paddock's full, the atmosphere is amazing, and that's what you want to do, is you can get your tickets online. If you go onto the Vic State Race Series, there's a link online that you can just buy your ticket, come down, you can get them at the gate, you can pay cash, you can pay by card, so, we're racers, you'll get, any way you can get money in the gate, you will. So come down. It's going to be an absolutely amazing weekend. Plenty of action, and hopefully not too much action. We're
hopefully we're not talking about anything too dramatic over the weekend. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in action on the weekend. Head down there to Phillip Island this weekend for the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship. But for now, Mark Taubitz and Travis Condon.
Can I just mention one thing? It's my wife's birthday tomorrow, and I really want to wish her a happy birthday. Yeah, love you, babe.
Yeah, we've even got the strains in the background on the harp on happy birthday. So congratulations for that. Now, speaking of people on the harp, wrapping us up tonight is Lady Shaula. You can listen to her. She's on iTunes, she's on Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, all of your favourite socials. She's also in pre-production for her own Channel 31 show, At Home with Lady Shaula. Now, if it's anything like my failed production, At Home with Brett Ramsey, which was just basically me under a pile of dirty dishes and unwashed clothes, screaming and crying uncontrollably, it's probably not going to be worth watching. I'm sure it's going to be far more entertaining than that. She's also touring Europe and Japan next year, and if I can sort of, sneak into replace one of her harps, I might try and go along with it, because that sounds like fun. But she's here tonight playing us out with a song, well, it's going to farewell, ye lads and lasses, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Shaula.
Farewell, ye lads and lasses, 'tis all to home we must go. You have come here tonight and gathered here in my sharing of in Peter Lane. And in Peter Lane gives, and in Peter Lane takes, and in Peter Lane fills your soul and your aching heart. Farewell, my friends, adieu. Oh, had ye come in sorrow, or had ye come in joy? We've had cars here aplenty to feed your soul in a sharing of in Peter Lane. And in Peter Lane gives, and in Peter Lane takes, and in Peter Lane fills your soul and your aching heart. Farewell, my friend.